This is the book of Romans, chapter 12 and verse 12. It reads, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing instant in prayer. Shalom, shalom, Akim. Before I begin, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash. All right, double honor to my elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, who rule and who teach well, who taught me this truth and sincerity. Peace, blessings, salutations unto the hopeful elect, wa'akwat, who are listening in truth and in sincerity. Hey, I'm the brother Gabaria Allah, coming at you with another lesson, all right? And this lesson is going to be entitled, We Will Be Rewarded for Our Patience, all right? We will be rewarded for our patience. Now, I got a quick testimony before I begin, grabbing scriptures, but this is what really inspired me to make this lesson. So earlier today, I was reading the book of Matthew, around the 25th chapter. And, pretty much going into, I believe the 24th chapter is when they were going into the, roughly paraphrasing, blessed is that servant whom he finds so doing. And that got me, remembering a quick little thing that one of my, worldly friends when I was in school, he told me this in middle school. I believe it was in 6th grade. Okay, so this was a while ago, and I don't know why it stuck with me so much. I didn't know why it stuck with me so much, but, I haven't thought about that in a long ass time. And now, thinking about it, the Lord has always been dropping little hints, and it's just a quick little testimony. So, pretty much it was towards the end of the semester, or the end of, end of the, semester. So it was about, winter break. And, our teacher, he pretty much was like, yeah, we're going to have a big party, you guys can bring chips, bring all the snacks you want, and we'll share it around with the class, and we'll put on the Avengers movie. And at the time, the big Avenger movie was, the daggone, what is it called? The freaking, Infinity War. Or Infinite War. Well, I forget what it's called. I'm not too in tune with the whole Avengers scene. But one of those, I know it was an Endgame, though. It was Infinity War, I believe. And that was the big movie at the time. And, I couldn't wait. I was excited, because I had not seen that movie. And I was talking to my friend. I was, oh, man, I can't wait. I was so eager. I was like, I can't wait. And he was like, yo, bro, calm down, man. Like it's gonna happen. I was like, nah, but I can't wait, bro. I'm too excited. I can't wait. And he goes, patience is always rewarded. Just be patient. And I was like, okay. I thought about it. I was like, damn, he's right. Patient. Okay, I'm gonna be patient. This was in middle school. And I'll never forget it, because I went home and I was thinking about that the whole time. I was like, patience is always rewarded. Patience is always rewarded. So I was just thinking about it in my mind, and, I never forgot about that. Okay. And, now coming into the truth, certain situations like that, the Lord has always been dropping little hints, little dimes on you since you was a kid, the Lord will be dropping little dimes on you, little hints, and this was one of them. Patience is always rewarded, always. And that's exactly what the Lord needs from us now. What he requires of us is patience, because we're expecting this great, beautiful kingdom. That's what we're expecting. That's what we know is going to come to us if we have patience. But hearing about this great, great kingdom, it's like you can't wait. You're eager. You want it to happen already. You want it to happen yesterday. Shit. You want to go home. People don't understand what you mean when you say you want to go home. They're like, oh, man, me too. Nah, you don't get it. I'm trying to go home. But they don't get it. They will never get it. So that's the importance of having patience. All right. So that's why I opened up with the book of Romans chapter 12 and verse 12. Okay. I'm going to read it one more time. Matter of fact, because that Romans 12 is heavy. You know, that Romans 12 is heavy, man. So I'm just going to get straight to the point. Romans 12 and verse 12. Rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation. And right now we're going through tribulation. And we're not even having gone through the biggest one yet. What is that biggest tribulation that we're gonna get to? You know, that Jacob's trouble, that mark of the beast, these certain things to come, you know, these prophecies to come. All right. And the last sign that of the Lord's coming is gonna be them nukes. Once the nukes are in the sky, once they come over here, that's when Yahushua has to make his appearance. You know, that's when he has to come, because otherwise the elect would be destroyed. But we know that the elect is going to be saved and delivered. So Yahushua has to make his appearance there. And that would be the final sign of the anointed's return. That's when we will know that he is here. All right? It says, continuing instant in prayer, right? You know, every day you're praying. You know, you're putting up the Lord's Prayer. You know, for one, I'm trying to memorize it without having to look down at my paper. You know, and I'm getting closer and closer. You know what I mean? I'm getting closer and closer. And, you know, just little things that get you closer to the Heavenly Father and the only begotten Son, really, you know, Yahushua, because he is our mediator. He's the middleman. You can't talk to the Heavenly Father directly. Right? You fucking scumbags who think that you can just skip past Yahushua. You guys are fucking scumbags, man. Fucking dirtbags, man. I hate you fucking assholes who don't want to give Yahushua his well-deserved credit, man. Fuck you guys. And Salakia, I always get angry even thinking about it, man, because Yahushua, what he went through, he is well-deserving of all his glory that is going to come. You know? All of it. All right? So now I want to grab a little account in Matthew that I was speaking of. All right? Matthew chapter 24. Let me see. Matthew 24 and verse 12. Matter of fact, Salakia, I'll be right back. All right, Salakia Hakim, I'm back. But like I said, in the book of Matthew, chapter 24. All right, and I'm gonna start at verse. I'm gonna start with what his disciples said. All right. I'm gonna start at Matthew 24 and 1. And Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him to shew him the buildings of the temple. And Yahushua said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be one left here, one stone upon another, that shall not be thrown down. And really, Yahushua is going to do the same thing with these, with this kingdom is going to be thrown down. All right. It says, verse 3, And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the signs of thy coming and of the end of the world? So they're asking, how are we going to know that you're returned, or how are we going to know that you're here? How are we going to know that when is the end of the world? And it says, verse 4, And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. All right, now from there I'm going to jump down, all right, because the whole chapter goes into pretty much the signs and the times. Okay. Matter of fact, I'll just read it. It's until verse 13. The 13 is the point. It says, For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. And we've already seen that, with that whole fucking the stupid rupture shit. Okay, that was hilarious, man. The elder out there in South Carolina, Manak Zakba, GMS South Carolina '08, I believe is his channel. He got a lot of I like the way he be making fun of these bug outs, man. He be going in, you know. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. You see, and we had that whole warning of California, that roughly, it's like not rough paraphrasing, pretty much that the FBI gave a warning towards California that Iran was gonna pretty much use drones to attack California. And those who don't know, I'm based out here in Cali, Los Angeles, But hey, we're not letting any of this trouble us, because we knew that these were signs of the Lord's coming, and that's how we are so sure and certain that the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is that much closer of making his return. Because it says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So, we know that the end is not yet, in terms of, the sky is cracking down, a minute from now, But we see that the signs, with these prophecies, the Lord has given us a timeline, a timeline of events leading up to the salvation of the elect and the coming of the anointed one, Yahushua. It says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. And we've seen these things already. We've seen all these signs, all these coming. There was a pestilence back in like 2022. I'm pretty sure, I made a walk and talk lesson about it. Where there was, I believe there was a famine of water. There was a thirst of water. You see. And pretty much, we all that is coming back again, and we've seen the pestilence and the earthquakes and in diverse places as well. You see earthquakes everywhere. There was that large ass a tsunami or hurricane over there in the islands, all right, with Benjamin Banyamyan, out there in Jamaica. When it was back like damn near a year from now, I think. Or I think it was like 6 months ago. Around 6 months ago. Half a year ago. The Banyamyan got hit with that big ass hurricane or whatnot. You see? And all these things, Jacob's trouble is gonna be horrific, man. Look up the dead man walking tornado. And see how Yahweh Hashem Yahushua has power like that. Alright, that tornado literally looked like a dead man walking. And that tornado was so strong that it peeled the skin off of cows, man. And cows have a thick skin. They have thicker skin than us. You see? If it peeled off the skin of the cows, what would they do to a human? Now imagine all those earthquakes, all those hurricanes, all those things that are coming down here. You see? It says, and these are the beginnings of sorrows, right? It's only going to be the beginning. And they shall deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Which that happened. The disciples of Yahushua, when they were returned to apostles, pretty much, they all got killed. Besides John the Revelator, we know that he was sent to the island of Patmos, which, he died of natural causes, But it says, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And we see that happening even now, and it's going to happen again. Those same spirits are the same spirits now. You see? They're in the earth, all right? And the closest character traits that these men have are in the men of Great Millstone. Straight up. The men of Great Millstone and those who follow like-minded doctrine. Those who follow their doctrine and like-minded Akim. You see? It says, and And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. Now, when you look into that word offended, which Salakia. Let me see. To be offended. It says to put a stumbling block or impediment in the way. And then when you go down, it says to cause one to judge unfavorably or unjustly of another. See? Yeah. You see, so there's going to be stumbling blocks, right? They're going to set up these things, and people are going to be offended. People are going to be in that stumbling block. All right? It says, and many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. Because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And that's what I wanted to get, man. Going back to being patient. So we have to endure all those things that was listed. And that requires patience. But what did I read in Revelations 12:12? Okay. You got to patiently endure, man. It's all about endurance. A rock 2-in-1. That's heavy too. Prepare thy soul for temptation, man. So, hey, I'm not going to make it too long, man. I just, I got certain things to take care of. But I really wanted to make this lesson, man, because, it's all about suffering patiently. All right? So with that, Lord willing was edifying. Lord willing was uplifting. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachakwarash. Double honor yet again to my elders and apostles of the great millstone who rule and who teach well. Peace, blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect. Wa Akwath who are listening in truth and sincerity. Hey, how about Shema Shabrak to the true listeners. Shalom.